Today, I want to share with you 5 life-changing habits that completely transformed my daily routine in just 1 week. Yes, you heard it right, only 7 days. I know it sounds too good to be true, but trust me, these habits are not just typical advice we often hear. They are real, tested habits that I personally adopted into my life. I faced challenges, celebrated achievements, and had moments of victory, and the results have been amazing. These changes were not just temporary, they have had a lasting impact on me, and I believe they can do the same for you. If you're looking to boost productivity, improve your mental state, or simply introduce some positive changes to your routine, these habits can help. So, sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and let's dive into it. You won't want to miss these tips because they aren't just theoretical, they are practical steps that you can implement starting today. The first habit that completely transformed my life is waking up early. I used to be someone who dreaded the mornings. My bed was my sanctuary, and I often hit the snooze button over and over, avoiding the start of my day. Mornings always felt chaotic, and I would rush around, feeling like I was starting the day on the wrong foot. But one day, I decided to challenge myself and wake up earlier. I started setting my alarm for 5 a.m. The first few days were rough. I was struggling to get out of bed, feeling groggy, and I wasn't enjoying it at all. But by the third day, something magical happened. I began to appreciate the peacefulness of the morning hours. There was a sense of calm that came with the stillness, and being up before the world woke up was something I found truly special. Those extra hours in the morning gave me time to focus on things I hadn't made room for before. I began my mornings with light exercise. Nothing intense, just a bit of stretching or a short jog around the block. It wasn't just about getting my body moving, it was about giving myself the energy to start the day strong. And it worked. I felt more awake, more alive. But there was more to it than just exercise. I started meditating in the mornings, too. Taking those few minutes to calm my mind, set intentions, and align my thoughts for the day gave me a sense of control. Another huge benefit of waking up early was the extra time to eat breakfast without rushing, to enjoy a cup of coffee, and to plan my day calmly. I became more organized and felt less stressed. One of the most peaceful moments was when I would sit on my balcony and watch the sun rise. The simple beauty of it left me feeling grounded and grateful. I started to realize how powerful waking up early could be for my well-being. Next up is regular physical activity. This was a habit I really struggled with. I used to come up with a million excuses to avoid working out. I am too tired, I don't have time, maybe tomorrow. Sound familiar? But one day, I made the decision to change. I committed to exercising every day for at least 20 minutes, no matter what. At first, I kept it light. I started with yoga, walking, and running. It wasn't about pushing myself to the limit, but rather about making it a consistent part of my routine. The first few days were tough. My muscles ached, and I felt exhausted. But I kept going, and something incredible happened by the 4th day. I woke up feeling more energized and less irritable. My mood improved dramatically, and I noticed that I was less stressed overall. I realized that those 20 minutes weren't just about physical fitness. They were a form of self-care. They gave me time to reconnect with myself and let go of the stresses of the day. One of the most freeing experiences was running outside in the fresh air. The clarity and sense of freedom I felt was amazing. It was like I could breathe more deeply, both physically and mentally. Plus, I noticed changes in my body. I had more energy, better posture, and I felt stronger overall. The most significant shift was in how I saw exercise. I no longer viewed it as something I had to do but rather as a way to care for myself and stay healthy. Now, exercise is no longer just a task on my to-do list. It's a way for me to grow mentally and physically. And it helps me maintain a positive outlook on life. If you're struggling to get started, my advice is to begin small. Find something you enjoy, whether it's dancing, a brisk walk, or a short jog, and commit to it for just 10 to 15 minutes a day. As time goes on, you can gradually increase the intensity and length. Trust me, the benefits are totally worth it. The third habit that changed my life is journaling. I used to think journaling was only for people who spend a lot of time reflecting or analyzing their thoughts. But after trying it for a week, I completely changed my perspective. I started with something simple each night before bed. I would spend about 10 minutes writing down my thoughts. I didn't buy fancy journals or use any apps, I just grabbed a regular notebook and a pen. It was about getting my thoughts on paper, no matter how messy they were. Over time, I began to see patterns in my thinking and noticed how often I was anxious or stressed over things that I couldn't control. Journaling allowed me to understand myself better. One of the most powerful aspects of journaling was introducing a gratitude practice. Every day, I would write down 3 things I was grateful for. It might seem small, but it completely shifted my mindset. Instead of focusing on what I didn't have, I began appreciating what I did have. It made me feel more content and present in the moment. Journaling gave me a deeper sense of calm and mindfulness. It became a therapeutic practice that helped me connect with myself on a more meaningful level. Next up is mindful eating. Like many people, I used to eat in a rush, barely paying attention to what or how I was eating. I would often eat while scrolling through my phone or working on my laptop. But when I decided to spend a week practicing mindful eating, I was amazed by the impact it had. I started setting aside time to sit down and really focus on my food. I would create a comfortable eating environment, turning off distractions like my phone and TV. And I began to truly savor each bite, paying attention to the flavors and textures. I noticed I started to eat slower and with more intention. I wasn't just eating to fill up, I was eating to nourish my body. I also started listening to my body more. I paid attention to when I was actually hungry and when I was just eating out of habit or stress. This allowed me to develop a healthier relationship with food. Instead of snacking mindlessly when I felt down, I began to find other ways to cope, like talking to a friend or enjoying a hot cup of tea. Mindful eating didn't just change how I ate, it changed how I viewed food altogether. I felt healthier, more balanced, and more aware of my eating habits. And lastly, limiting screen time was a habit that truly transformed my life. I realized that spending too much time on my phone or computer was affecting both my productivity and my mood. I decided to set boundaries and limit my screen time to just 1 hour a day for social media and entertainment. At first, it was difficult. I was so used to being constantly connected. But gradually, I began to see the benefits. I had more time to focus on things that mattered. I started reading more books, cooking new recipes, and even doing creative projects. Sometimes, I would go for a walk and just enjoy being outdoors. This change also had a positive impact on my sleep. I began sleeping much better because I wasn't spending my evenings staring at my phone. Instead, I would wind down by reading or meditating before bed. As a result, I felt more focused, calm, and productive during the day.